Samantha's question, in the Old Testament, it seems like people didn't really choose what they wanted to do in life, but simply followed what their fathers did. Today, there is a lot of emphasis on following your dreams, doing what we want. Do you think this is good, or is it making people selfish?
It's a really good question. And I think to a certain extent it's right. The priesthood in the Old Testament was a familial thing. So sons inherited it from their fathers. Mm-hmm. And that was true of most vocations or most jobs, occupations back then. You basically did what your father did. So there's less choice there. However, in the Old Testament, priests and really everyone was called to faithfulness. And the priests that inherited that role from their fathers were nonetheless called to be faithful to that role. And that's a commonality between the covenants. It's true that we get more of a kind of a conscious choice of what we do, but like the priests of the Old Covenant, we too are called to be faithful to God's call. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more complicated for us. We have to spend some time, as she mentions, in discernment, trying to figure out what is God's call specifically for me. But when we discover it, we need to be faithful to it. And so the prophets, the kings, the priests of the Old Testament were called to be faithful to what God had designated them for, to lean into, as we say nowadays, to lean into their role, their calling. And we need to as well. And Samantha makes a good point. Is this leading to selfishness? I think it can. When I was discerning my own vocation, I didn't find it helpful for people to ask me, what do I want? Because I thought, well, what I'd like to do is stay in bed all day, eat chips, watch television, I don't think that's very productive. I thought it was better to frame it, at least for me, it was better to frame it in terms of what does the world need and what does the church need? And what can I do to meet that need?
Instead of what do you want?
Yeah, instead of simply what I want. And I looked out there and I saw needs and I saw, yeah, there's a match between some of those needs and the gifts that God has given me. And so I tried to do that. And I found that more helpful. I respond better to felt needs and trying to observe, what's got to be done and what am I able to do to contribute to that.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to see more amazing content on the Bible, be sure to like and subscribe.